Test 1, 2. Let's see if this works. Am I live? Does it work? Should be working, but it's not. Oh, perfect. It's working. Okay. All right, I'm going to be doing a quick replay review here. I just wanted to look at a couple things from our team's scrims last night. We had a few miscommunication things I wanted to talk about real quick, and I think they're really important for us to go over in order to improve. This was a new roster for us. We were trying us out in all sorts of different positions. I used to play mainly supports. That didn't go very well in this situation because I did something different. But yeah, let's see how this goes. It'll be real quick. I don't need to have much to talk about. So our team's first mistake was right in draft. We let them get the massive trinity here with Thrall and Rhaegar, and then they followed it up with a Valo and an ATC. The Kael'thas was just something extra they threw in for some damage. So, my team's idea was to go for a root style composition. We had two different heroes to do this, and then we'd gust away and then focus on the single target. And the gust also worked as an extra counter to the bloodlust combination, which we shouldn't have let through in draft in the first place. So the main problem is that's a very high level combo to pull off. It means the root has to land. It means the gust has to be on point. And I'm a very new Falstad player, so gust being on point might have been a tall order to begin with. Poe's going to get picked right here. I'm just going to talk about this real quick. Poe shouldn't be standing here, and he knows that already, obviously. You're right out in the middle of the lane. Your tank's on the other side of a wall, unable to really peel for you properly. You'd see Shadow and I are pulled way back. I don't know what this is either. They're all coming out here. They're not going to pop out over here. You don't need two of your tanks sitting off to the side of the lane. But Poe gets blown up. 1-2 punch. Fight goes badly. But that's not the thing I wanted to talk about. We're going to boost ahead a little bit. Try to get to level 10s here. I wanted to talk about our team's overall approach to a team fight. Early game goes kind of back and forth a little bit. Both teams pushing 6, both teams getting turn-ins, and picks back and forth a little bit. But it's when we hit ultimates that the real test comes in, because both teams are heavy ultimate composition. Not there yet. Okay. If only this replay viewer was a little better. Close.
Your world is upside down.
Alright, here's tens. Just turn down the game volume really quick. Perfect. Alright. Really simple use of ultimates. Nothing really big here. They didn't have them yet. They picked the fight. We countered by using them. So we got a nice little pick. Rose the fort. Now, we probably should have just followed up on this. These two were really low, and I don't think they had that much of a chance of getting away. But we didn't. We followed these guys instead. Regardless, and then I gusted him out of the route because I'm an idiot. And he should have been dead. So as far as things go, like early game, we did fine. We followed calls well. We did things just the way we're supposed to do. This web leader's dead, so we back out. See if I can find a good fight here. Alright, there comes their ultimate. So they drop their ultimates right away, and then as soon as we see that, I gust to try to clear this out a little bit so that we don't have to worry so much about all the damage dropping in on us while we're doing this. Now the gust didn't work out very well. Thrall didn't get pushed away, and he's kind of like, Thrall and ETC are the two primary ones we don't want to be dealing with. So Zad we get split by this fork here. Bad spot to be in fight. So naturally one of us is going to get picked here. Because we were just too split from our healer and our ranged edge. So I got picked because I was too close to the action. Shadow does some nice work hitting over the wall to get the extra kill that we need to kind of keep ourselves in this. So that's not a good example either because they picked the engage. Chromie hitting the blast. ETC gets the turn in. Here we go. Okay, so we've used APOC a while ago, and we just used Sind. They're picking the fight. We've kind of like engaged this fight just head on a little bit, and we haven't really been coordinating our ultimates, obviously, effectively. So right there, for example, saw Bloodlust pop, quick gust to get them away. This is probably a decent call considering our health bars, and their health bars are pretty decent. I'm low, Beard's low, Zad's low, and they've only got two people who are half health. So Zad gets focused here a little bit. Gald misses the root, and ETC's getting chunked. So we end up trading, but it's in our favor because of the souls on Diablo. But still, the forts, we lost 2 forts in the exchange for that fight. Probably not the best time to be picking a fight when we're just trying to clear spiders out. Still not getting that fight I'm looking for that explains what I'm talking about here. Ultimate coordination is really difficult, and we were going to have a tough time no matter what we did. Landing this. There's 1 or 2 fights where we do it perfectly, and then other than that. Okay. So they all come in, and they're just bursting our tank down like crazy. And a lot of this has to do with Zad goes in on a hard engage here from an angle. They've got all of their damage on him, and we've got none of our damage trying to mitigate them doing damage to him. So this is a positional thing. It's a hard angle to engage from. We're all trying to turn in. As soon as we see them, we shouldn't continue. And Zad shouldn't have to try to peel for this. He's trying to save us because he's coming in hard. And he would have probably... look at our squishies, all in a row. 3 ducks, all in a row. Zad sees this. He knows we're all in trouble. We shouldn't be standing here. If anything, either probably Poe should be up in this corner here, so Beard's got the protection on him. Shadow has 1 gem. Did he turn in just a little bit ago? Let's see. No, he's had 1 gem the whole time. Okay. So Shadow, I know you, if you do watch this, you have no reason to enter this square. You are the longest range hero in the game. You can be way up here waiting for your opportunity. You do not need to stand next to your other squishies. Zad's warding. He should be warding the whole time, which is exactly what he's doing. Beard's trying to turn in because he has the most. So now Beard goes around the other side. In this situation, I think it'd be better, instead of trying to turn in, we know the fight's coming. Beard should come down. Poe should rotate up. Try to force yourself into a proper team fight position. If you're a tank or a bruiser, you need to be in front. This is not front, and this is not back. I come back up. Now I make a mistake too. I try to get in to get damage because I see Zad getting blown up. Now I'm in an earthquake, and you guys are in a mosh. Now we got lucky, because Poe had a beautifully timed Twilight Dream. Then I gust them out to try to keep the rest of us going. So it ends up being a trade, and a favorable one for us because of our position with the turn-in. However, this was still like a really dangerous fight, and a more coordinated team, because these guys don't always play together, obviously. They're just a bunch of fogies that we play with. We don't want to be in that spot. A very coordinated team would have destroyed us. Now, Poe was saying I kept running away from him. He's right. I probably could have turned left here hard. I don't think the heal would have mattered because it's over time. I think I was dead anyways. And I don't think my death was worth it. I was trying to eat shots to keep Beard turning in. I'm very new to playing ranged assassins in this fashion. So, too used to being able to heal myself up as a support and do that kind of stuff every now and then. Or be more mobile occasionally. Like I used my mobility early there to get out, but was too late by that point. Okay. The comes in, and we should have known it was coming. We saw them on the map. Earthquake comes out. There comes Phoenix. See, their ultimates are so easy. It's press R to win the video game. And ours are so hard to coordinate. So again, Gust to keep us alive, basically. And it's all we can do. So now their ultimates are out. They're face checking a bush. Probably a bad decision. So they use Bloodlust there. And we ended up getting the Rhaegar. So we're still technically ahead at this point. We're keeping pace with them. In fact, we've got structural lead. Things start turning south, though, when we start losing a few fights at this point in the game. Their ultimates are almost up. They've almost got Bloodlust. Ours are almost up, except we're missing APOC. Now, never once in the game did we actually overly communicate our alts too often. We did occasionally. Like, there was a few times where someone would call out for a check, but we should be talking about them a lot more than we were, I think. Obviously, Chromie doesn't have to. Hers is just, that's what it is. I'd call my Gust occasionally, but I probably could have called out when it was ready every time. And that's just good information for my shot caller to know. If he doesn't always know when Gust is up, he doesn't know if he has the disengage he needs to make a gutsy call. So I don't know if that might have changed the way Zad called things or not. All right, here's an example of what the fights I was talking about. So we haven't used anything yet. So there's the big root coming in from Arthas. And as soon as the root landed, I should have gusted. And we would have had, Fly wouldn't have been in position, because if I back it up, let's watch this again. So he roots 2. And as soon as you see this, it should be an instant send out Gust, because then they lose Galderan and they use Fly. And that means both of their one of their big damage dealers and bullies and their healer are out of the fight, and you've got 2 squishies in front of you and nothing but ETC, a low ETC to try to peel for them. Instead, I don't use Fly. We lose Malfurion. We end up getting the Vala anyways, but we don't get Hulk in this, I don't think. Now Fly is still here to try to kill me along with the ETC. Shadow and Zad have to back it up, and our Arthas is chasing the Hulk. So they are grouped with Hulk just backing up. We're split. So we trade 2 for 2, and then we end up going 3. They go 2 for 3 by killing Beard here. Oh, maybe he does get out. Okay. Oh, they get Zad, though. That's what it was. There it is. Yeah. So our fight, like if we had coordinated our use of abilities here, I didn't know that they were going to get rooted because Sindragosa doesn't root yet at this point. So if I had known that he was sending out Howling Blast, it's kind of hard to see it with all the animations from Sindragosa happening at the same time. I would have rooted So that's one coordination missed, but I also should have been paying attention to statuses. I didn't see the root because I wasn't watching for it, even though that's one of the primary reasons we used this ability. We wanted to use the ability. So calling out our ultimates, calling out our abilities, and the coordination of what ability comes first, what comes second. So that's the first one where it went poorly for us. Now, up at this point, like Shadow's actually been doing some work for us, a lot of work for us. This was an interesting idea. We were thinking about baiting boss for a while. So you can see we're communicating our ultimates now. Now this is bad. This was the big one that we wanted to talk about because this is what loses us the game, I think. Beard is down here with nothing to do. There's zero reason for us to be trying to flank with an Arthas, unless you're getting, I don't know. I can't think of it, honestly. Up until this point, we were ahead and we were winning. So now he's scouted too. So if you're a scouted flank, why even continue trying it? Yeah, so they know it's coming. Like there's no point in doing it anymore. You should be coming back all the way around and calling it off. Now Zad's out here in the open. I'm over here. I'm nowhere near Zad to help put out damage to keep him going. Poe's in the right spot, but now his spot's dangerous because I'm out of position. Shadow's in actually a decent spot because it's Chromie, and Beard's way out of position because they see the flank coming and he's nowhere near to help create a front line for Poe and myself. So now Zad's way too far forward because I'm not close enough to follow. Beard's not anywhere near to follow. And Poe is in a decent spot because he's the support. He can probably land that with Loon's Grace there. Shadow's way far out now. He can't land a shot from here. So he should have moved up when Zad moved up. Now he moves forward. And now, what is this going to turn into? Honestly, this is a bad spot to be trying to gust. If we root, because they're just going to hit the walls. So you're not really setting up an isolation. ETC gets the slide in. Galderan's in position to start putting out damage on our line, and their back line is a nice spot to follow up with their damage. Beard's still standing here, hasn't done anything yet. Shadow is going to start hopefully dropping some bombs on them right away. I'm out of position. I'm too far forward now because Zad had to back up, and I didn't back up when he backed up. So I'm forced to use my barrel roll just to get out. Now Zad's standing in the earthquake. APOC goes off. Now Zad didn't call for APOC, but I think he was expecting us to wait for APOC to drop and then what? Okay. So the problem here is they dropped Earthquake, they dropped Bloodlust. Zad goes APOC, but I don't think it was going to work for much anyways. Like the Gust doesn't cancel the APOC because they're stunned for a couple seconds with zero follow-up on any of their stuns. And because there is no way for us to follow up on any of that. And now they're bloodlusted in us standing near an earthquake. And Beard's following in from the side. So I gusted because Poe got the root onto the Thrall. And I didn't really think, I guess I didn't think the earthquake or the APOC was going to get us what we needed. But I didn't call my gust either, so we had two ultimates go off at the same time. probably not the best use of them. Now, Beard should probably have just dropped Syndra right here before they got walking forward, so it would slow them to keep us up busy. So we get the kill, but then in return, I die. And then Beard's left alone with a cancelled Syndragosa because he was flanking sideways. So just a bad fight. Seems small, but it gives them the opportunity to go and try stuff. And this is exactly where they start winning. So they get boss. They clear waves quick. Now the momentum shifted in their favor. They get the APOC. We get the Syndra. I got to try to keep us alive. Slow this down. Now we don't have ultimates. They have Mosh Pit. Ugh. So many missed auto. I was not playing well. So we did turn this. They got the Chrony. We got the Thrall. The keep though. Now this goes horrible here. We lose all 3 keeps in one push. So now they're going to come through here. We saw it happening though. So they decide to come through the front. This is our first good engage. We dropped Syndragosa with the root, so we had to wait for level 20 for this to work, followed by the APOC, followed by blow-ups. And then a gust to keep us going. Actually, I wanted to watch that gust again. Yeah, Zad's right. I couldn't need to do that. Didn't see the overpower. Okay. Now our next fight goes similar, and then we end up losing in the end. 3 keeps is hard to come back from, so 1 keep's hard to come back from, let alone 3. Yeah, so just all ultimates need to be figured out in advance of the fight, in advance of the whole game. We need to know how we're expecting to engage a team fight. The one flank wasn't really great. Our use of ultimates was countering each other a lot. It could have been better, but that's how you learn.